Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Every Blank Type Temtem Explained video. As per your votes in the last video, today we'll be covering the nature type. Make sure you guys vote down below in the comments for which type you'd like to see me cover next. We've already been through neutral, electric, digital, crystal, mental, fire, and now nature. Any of the remaining types are fair game. This video marks the second half of this mini-series. We've covered 6 out of 12 already, and this is number 7, and as of such, I'd like to slightly change the formula to make it a little more engaging. Much like I did with our second Monster Crown video, I'm going to focus less on reading off entire personality and appearance descriptions and focus more on summarized and relevant points when discussing each tem. I'm also going to go into a little bit of a competitive analysis for the more relevant ones, as well as locations that you can find them, TV yields, etc. More useful information. So with all that out of the way, let's just jump right in. Nature type's considered one of, if not the best defensive typings, only being weak to fire and toxic while resisting water, nature, earth, and electric. It's quite literally a far cry from its Pokemon counterpart, which is weak to fire, poison, flying, ice, and bug. As a nature type in Temtem, you don't have to worry about wind types much, and ice and bug don't exist, so. Most nature types exist within the lush jungles of Amnesia, and there has been a debate amongst locals as to whether or not nature types are floral-based versus animal-based. These are the types of debates keeping the Amnesians busy on Reddit. There are currently 15 nature type Tems, however we have already covered the unreleased Amphitter in our Every Electric Type Explained video, so we'll be excluding that one. First up, Swaley, the Chrysalis Temtem. Swaley is a mono nature type Temtem and is known for its fragility, especially during Amnesian harvest season. Harvesters have to be extremely careful not to harm them when fruit picking. They grow on vines in various trees and will eventually fall onto the floor when they've matured enough. Its traits are Mithratism, which prevents the poison status, as well as Shared Pain, which redirects consecutive attacks onto one's ally. It yields 1 stamina TV and can be found on the pristine coast and Thalassian cliffs. It evolves into Loweli after leveling up 8 times. Loweli is described as being quite delicate but also graceful. Due to their light wings and lack of a body, they can change direction in an instant. Their eyes are also said to be hypnotic in nature, so it's probably best not to look directly into them. It's a dual nature and wind type Temtem. Its traits are Botanist, which increases nature type attack damage by 15%, and Toxic Farewell, which poisons the foe upon Loweli's demise. It yields 1 speed and 1 stamina TV and can be found in many areas such as the Canopath, the Flywalk, the Hang Road, and the Glassy Way. Its base stat total is actually quite high at 485 and is somewhat evenly distributed between stamina, speed, special attack, and special defense. Despite that, it is only listed as a C tier Temtem, once again proving that base stat totals don't necessarily decide the usefulness of it. Hidati is a mono nature type Temtem that resembles some type of caterpillar. Each of its stubby legs possess a sucker, making them very proficient in climbing. Kinda like this guy. Its potential traits are Electric Synthesize, which negates incoming electric type attacks and in turn heal the user of said trait, and Botanist, which once again increases nature type damage. It yields 2 stamina TVs and can be found in various locations such as the Canopath, the Glassy Way, and the Giant Banyan. It evolves into Taifu after leveling up 15 times. Taifu, much like its pre-evolution, is a mono nature type and has grown in part due to its diet of consistently eating children's cookies that it steals, because it's a jerk. Don't let that cape fool you, it's a bad guy. Its potential traits are Toxic Farewell, which once again poisons the foe upon death, and Resilient, which allows Tems that would otherwise overexert themselves to death to survive with 1 HP. It yields 2 stamina and 1 special attack TV, and can be captured at the Glassy Way. Its base stat total is 443 with a focus on stamina, special attack, and special defense, though it is listed as a D rank Temtem according to Temtem Strat. Orphle is the sexy nature / toxic type snake Temtem, and all I can say is that Orphle, more like fill my orifice. Yeah, anyway, this Tem is a mutation of an ancient serpentine Temtem variety. These Tems have been both feared and praised according to ancient Arborean texts. Its traits are Apothecary, which will poison a foe if you hit it with a special technique, or regenerate an ally if you do the same, and Toxic Affinity, which increases toxic type damage. It yields 2 speed TVs and can be found in the Zalot Reservoir and the Corrupted Badlands. It evolves into Nidrasil after leveling up 22 times. Nidrasil shares its typing with its pre-evolution and is a 3-headed serpent creature. Its name is derived from the Nordic word Nihilgur, sorry if I butchered that, which translates to basically he who strikes with malice. It's based off the Nordic Tree of Life, which connects the 9 worlds together. This beast was for a long time nothing more than a mere legend, however, it was discovered only decades ago. Temologists are still trying to figure out Nidrasil's nervous system, given the 3 consciousnesses existing as a unit. Its traits are Toxic Farewell, which we've discussed already in length, and Tri-Apothecary, which does the same as its pre-evolution's Apothecary, but instead of poisoning or regenerating for 1 turn, it lasts 3. On a side note, it's extremely useful when used in tandem with Kinu for grinding money in this game at the Kakuma Senno, but that'll probably be a separate video. It yields 3 attack TVs and can only be obtained by evolving Orphle. Its base stat total is 445 with a focus on attack, defense, and HP, and it's generally used as a staller/tank. It gets access to sustain moves like Bark Shield and utilizes moves like Allergic Spread and Toxic Ink coupled with Tri Apothecary to slowly whittle away at its opponent's health. It's listed as a B rank Temtem according to Temtem Strat. Bigu is this ugly ass nature type Temtem and is described as being, and I quote, comically short-tempered. It's said to make up for its slow pace with a high level of tenacity. Its traits are Warm-Blooded, which prevents the cold status, and Amphibian, which increases the holder's speed when it's hit with a water type attack. It yields 2 stamina TVs and can only be obtained by breeding. It evolves into Babawa after 18 levels. Babawa is known for its mischievous nature. It is not unheard of for Babawa to join forces with naughty children in schemes involving costumes in order to cause havoc during the annual Quetzal Carnival. Its love for practical jokes is only rivaled by how goddamn ugly this thing is. Its traits are Mucus, which is actually quite good. It resists damage from electric type techniques and prevents cold and burn statuses. It also gets access to Withdrawal, which causes the user to restore 15% HP when resting and remove the sleep status condition. Both of its traits are currently unique to Babawa. It yields 4 stamina TVs and can be obtained on the Flywalk, the Hang Road, and at Kakuma Senno. Its base stat total is 448 with an emphasis on stamina, so much so that it actually holds a title of highest stamina in the game currently. Its HP and physical attack are quite respectable as well. It's more of a tank. It's currently a B rank Temtem according to Temtem Strat. Kaku is a mono nature type Temtem that I'm sure anyone who's played the game for 20 minutes is quite familiar with. It's probably the cutest Temtem ever, no debate. They use their petals for means of protecting themselves against enemies, but most agree that attacking them should be punishable by death. Its traits are Caffeinated, which prevents sleep, and Mithridatism, which prevents poison. It yields 1 HP TV and can be found in a ton of locations, including Pristine Coast, Fallacian Cliffs, Gifted Bridges, the Canopath, and the Flywalk. It evolves into Saku after leveling up 11 times. Saku is a nature wind type Temtem and is said to be the inspiration for the first airship designs in the archipelago. Saku uses air pockets within its bodies to float alongside the wind. Its potential traits are Botanist, which increases nature type damage, and Air Specialist, which increases wind type damage. It yields 2 HP TVs and can be found in various locations such as the Gifted Bridges, the Canopath, the Glassy Way, and Kupelalelza, if I pronounced that correctly. Its base stat total is 420.
Smoke weed every day.
And its stats are pretty well rounded, other than its speed and attack. As of right now, Saku's Air Specialist trait's more effective as its nature type move pool is quite limited, so Botanist isn't really an option. It acts as a tank, much like other nature type Temtems, and takes advantage of moves such as Lifeful Sap and Bark Shield. It also gets access to Eureshiel with a Toxic synergy and can be used to poison foes for 4 turns, essentially crippling them. It's an A-rank Temtem according to Temtem Strat. Spriole or Spriol or Spriol, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, is a mono nature type Temtem that's described as being playful yet juvenile. Despite this fact, the locals are quite kind and gentle towards them. Its traits are Camaraderie, which increases its defenses when allied with another Tem of the same evolutionary line, and Botanist, which I've said a million times, increases nature type damage. It yields 1 HP TV and can be found on the Canopath, the Hang Rod, the Glassy Way, and the Giant Banyan. It evolves into Deendray after leveling up 12 times. Deendray is also a mono nature type Temtem that's described as being a wondrous plant-animal hybrid capable of healing and nourishing compounds with the leaves on its body. Its traits are Mithridatism, which once again prevents the poison status, and Settling, which increases the attack stat by 8% for every turn that Deendray is on the battlefield. It yields 2 HP and 1 speed and 1 defense TV and can be found on all 3 levels of Amnesia, being Superior, Citerior, and Ulterior. It evolves into Cerneef after 25 more level ups. Few Temtem are quite as flora as Cerneef. Just like its pre-evolution, it's described as being a fascinating plant-animal hybrid that uses its leaves to produce healing and nourishing components via the photosynthesis process. Its traits are Callosity, which increases its defense by 1 stage when hit with a physical attack, and Settling, which we just explained, increases the attack stat by 8% for every turn it's on the battlefield. It yields 2 HP and 2 defense TVs and can be only obtained through evolving Deendray. Its base stat total is 451 with a focus on HP and defense. Its attack is somewhat low, so if you're going to make use of its Settling ability, you're going to have to make sure it's survivable. Luckily it is. The other issue is its move pool though. It has access to Water Cutting Lily, which is a high power physical nature type move with a water synergy for extra damage. It also has moves such as Double Kick, Sharp Leaf, and Rampage. These are basically all of its physical techniques that would benefit from its settling ability, so you might want to go with the other ability. It depends on what you're trying to build. It also gets Frond Whip through breeding, which is a low priority, high base power attack, great for a tank like Cernif, but it's probably not going to use that settling ability to sweep teams. Kinu is considered to be one of the rarest Tems in all of the archipelago, being attributed to a mere myth or legend. They're said to be guardians of the Banyan and are treated with the utmost respect. Its traits are Protector, which boosts the allies' defense and special defense upon Kinu entering the battlefield, and Benefactor, which restores the ally by 10% of its max HP when it's damaged. Interestingly enough, this trait works on self-inflicted damage as well. It yields 4 stamina TVs and can be located at the giant Banyan, albeit with a very low spawn rate. I believe it's 5%. Its base stat total is 454 with a focus on special defense, with its other stats being quite well rounded other than its subpar physical defense stat. Competitively, it plays a critical supportive role, making use of its Protector trait and techniques such as Turbo Choreography, Sacrifice, Revitalize, Stonewall, and even Lullaby depending on the build. It's an S-rank Temtem according to Temtem Strat. So yeah, that's the gist of every nature type Temtem. I hope you guys enjoyed the slightly upgraded format, focusing more on useful information such as locations, TV yields, techniques of interest, etc. Don't forget to vote in the comment section below for the next type you want me to cover. We still have to go through Melee, Toxic, Water, Earth, and Wind type, so look forward to that. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more Temtem content. Until next time guys, peace.